Hello, I'm Gloria Merrick. I'm the Executive Director of the Latino Hispanic American Community Center of the Greater Harrisburg region. Since September 20th, when the hurricane hit, there's an emergent, immediate need in Puerto Rico for the families to try to sustain themselves, given the environment, given the state of influx, and the state of flux in terms of having utilities, not having electric, then all of a sudden having utilities and so on and so forth. And so a lot of the families tried to stick it out, is what they tell us. They tried to hang in there. The neighbors were helping each other. But you know, they reached a point where the reality was starting to set in, and they knew that they needed to just start looking at other options. And so what we found was that in mid-October, we started seeing a lot of families coming to the Latino Center. Pennsylvania is the third highest. Most the Puerto Ricans that are in need of assistance that have been leaving Puerto Rico are coming to number 1, Florida, number 2, New York, and number 3, Pennsylvania. A lot of people are surprised by that, but we're seeing it. Like I said, we have Reading, Lancaster, Lebanon, York. There's a lot of Latino communities within Pennsylvania, and we're one of those serving this area. And we feel we're seeing a lot of people that are coming in. We've serviced overall about 230 individuals. That's parents, children, adults, grandparents, and so forth. And we're finding that their biggest needs are clothing, shelter, jobs. They're looking for immediate jobs. They really appreciate that the center is helping them, but they want to get on their own 2 feet. And so we're working with a lot of employment agencies that are coming in, and they are having job fairs or they're sending us positions. And so it's a very reciprocal process where they're helping us and we're helping them. So that's a huge happening, a huge assistance that we're trying to provide to the community. We also are in the process of helping them finding and learning about their different stories, because in order to build a relationship with them and to get them to feel comfortable coming to us and talking to us about what their needs are, we think it's important to hear them and listen to what they've experienced. And they'll pull out pictures out of their wallet or pictures out of their purse, and they'll say, here's my house, or here's where my house used to be, and my house isn't there anymore. You know, the children were bailing water out of the house. We heard one of the neighbors yell that there was more water coming. Heard one of the neighbors yell. We hurried up and started, bailing water out with the children, and then we ended up with all the wind and everything. Luckily, they were able to make it to the laundry room with the children, and they stayed there until most of the storm had, till the biggest part of the storm had hit and subsided. And so we also have another woman, a police officer from San Juan. Her granddaughter was staying with her, and she was screaming and crying the whole time. We have families. We have, for example, even one of my employees who had a house in Puerto Rico, and her sisters had a house in Ponce, the 3 of them, and all the houses went except hers. And luckily, 16 of her family members huddled in that house and survived the storm, because the other houses just disappeared. They just went off. They just got blown away. But luckily, she had a concrete house. And we're finding that's the situation with a lot of individuals, that they're saying that they had to huddle together in one place, and they had to look for higher ground. And there's just been a lot of sad situations. Diabetes, people with diabetes, right after the storm, not being able to keep their supplies, their essential medical supplies and prescriptions cold, no ice. You know how a bag of ice was a rare commodity, and they would pay $30 for a bag of ice. It's just, it's just a very sad situation. And then after we hear them, when we cry with them, or we talk with them a little bit more, then, we continue to help them, and they trust us. We're also a bilingual center, and we're the only bilingual Latino center in this region. And so what happens is that they feel comfortable with us, because not that no other organizations want to help, because we partner with a lot of organizations, Bethesda Mission, Shalom House, and a lot of others in terms of shelter. We also partner with Hamilton Health in terms of clinic, Mission Mercy, and so on. But the difference is that we speak their language, we understand the culture. And so we're able to break through immediately those language and cultural barriers that might prevent them from getting the help that they need. And that's what we are, the Latino Hispanic American CUNY Center, that provides these basic human needs services and other services such as English as a second language for the majority of the people that are coming in who do not speak English.